There we go. Hello, everybody. It's Gaz here from American Hammers TV, and welcome back to the Sunday afternoon show. I have my co-host, as always, the big man, Wayne. How you doing, Wayne?
Big. I'm doing good, mate. I'm doing good. I'm having a drink. I'm drinking Dead Rabbit in my coffee today.
Isn't it a bit early for whiskey?
Is it Sunday?
It is, yeah. But
I'm a religious man, so I have to drink whiskey on a Sunday.
Oh, it's a drink for the Lord, is it? Right. Okay.
Thank you, Father.
All right. So today's guest, we have a very special guest today from West Ham Fan TV. We have Scott Collier. How you doing, Scott?
Yeah, I'm not bad, mate. You?
I'm all right, man. I'm hot. It's super hot here. We have a nice low temperature of 95 degrees today. So yes,
it's a lot cooler. Here today. A lot. Cooler.
Yeah.
I want to know, Scott. You know, somebody said that you're like the French aspect of West Ham Fan TV. Somebody said that you might have been called Scott Collier.
I have been called that before. I must admit, I've been called it. It's dates back ancestry. Fully, all my immediate family are all English, but obviously we ancestor-wise it is from France. Yeah.
It's all about pronunciations these days, isn't it? So it's like, is it Allah, Ola, Alair, Alier? It's like I don't bloody know. I'm going mental these days. I really am going completely mental.
Every time we sign a new player, I just pray that they've got a nice, easy surname to pronounce when I'm doing the previews, because I'm absolutely useless at like pronouncing names, things like that. Dan takes the mick out of me all the time.
Well, at least we don't have to worry about that bird from the women's team. Was it Gabalab or whatever her name is?
I'm not even going to try to pronounce it.
Blind.
Well, at least we've got Sebastian Haller. I'm sure you could pronounce that one pretty easily.
Yep. Yeah, that was a nice easy one. I didn't struggle with Yarmolenko. That's another nice easy one to do. So
it is.
But it was
Rice is a good one.
Yeah, it was Chiarti was the one I kept getting wrong, and I got a lot of abuse, especially from Dan on that one.
Yeah, I had a problem with Chiarti as well. What did you have a problem with Fabianski as well?
No, Fabianski, I was all right. It was weren't too bad.
Even though he was a bit of a sideways move.
Yeah, that dated well, didn't it? Sideways.
Yeah, I had to sneak that one in there a little bit. I mean, because it's I've got to be honest. I was with you on that. I really thought the same. I thought that Fabianski was a sideways move as well.
Yeah, it's because you always remember him at Arsenal, and he was nicknamed Flappyanski.
Yeah,
and I know he done well at Swansea, weren't he? He was at before, and he done well there, but I just didn't see it. And then obviously in all great predictions, he gets Hammer of the Year, and was probably our best player all season, consistently
by a mile, man. Absolutely.
Well, I think the one saving grace for you there from that prediction show is the fact that Nicky said that West Ham was going to finish above Scotland at number 5. So I think you're all right. I mean, if you just said that Fabianski was a sideways move, that's it. But
I got off lightly on that one.
Go ahead, Gaz.
I was just going to ask real quick, Scott, what camera are you using? Because the quality of it is really good. Or maybe it's just because you're sitting outside.
I'm on my wife's iPad because for some reason my iPad wouldn't update, so I couldn't get the Hangouts on there. I don't want to use my phone because obviously I've just finished a Thames Ironworks game, so all my chats are going off where everyone's chatting and the phone keeps ringing, so I couldn't use that. So I've had to commandeer the wife's iPad.
Well, that's actually good that you mentioned Thames Ironworks. We usually go to have somebody got into West Ham United and everything first, but you've mentioned Thames Ironworks and you're pretty involved in that, aren't you? Tell us a little bit about how that all came about with Thames Ironworks.
Well, as you know, it's me, Nicky, Ryan, and Graham. We all know each other through Saturday football. We used to play. Me and Graham have known each other a long, long time, playing for a team called Newham United, and we sort of brought Nicky in. Nicky was a friend of a friend. He come in and joined us. Ryan come along as well, and we sort of all got to know each other through Saturday League football. And obviously, it was times when I didn't have a season ticket. Graham, Nicky, and all, and we were all playing together in the same team. I got injured. I retired from playing, took up managing. I used to manage a Sunday side, gave that up to work because I have work in the mornings on the weekends. And then Nicky came up with this idea of starting a YouTube Sunday side. And he asked me to be involved with it because obviously my experience of running the side that I had previously, I've done everything from the managing to the chairman side of it. So he asked me to come in that aspect. And sort of like as Nicky had the great idea and then said, right, you sort it all out. So I sort of all got on my plate at the minute.
Yeah.
But I must admit, Graham helps me a lot. Massively a lot, he because I work on a Sunday morning, we kick off 10:30. 10:30. Graham does a lot of running around for me and things like that, so it's it makes life easier for me to do it.
It does.
So
does Graham have his two friends help out as well?
Yeah, they do. The season doesn't start till the second weekend of September, but we're going through pre-season friendlies at the minute.
Yeah, how's that going?
Not very good. Not very good. No. Like all pre-seasons, people on holiday, working, things like that. We can't get kick-off times because there's not a lot of football pitches available because over here at the minute it's obviously cricket season. So a lot of the grass pitches you can't use. So you're having to get onto 4G and 3G pitches and everyone's trying to do the same thing. So normally we kick off 10:30. Today we kicked off at 4:00.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah.
Blimey.
So I was racing back from where we were playing to get back to come on air with you guys.
Nice.
Well, we appreciate your racing.
That's all right. That's okay.
So real quick as well, regarding the players that you said you played with, like Nicky and that, who was a better player out of all of you?
I've got to say Graham.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Graham's very, very right. Don't get me wrong, Nicky and Ryan are good players, but Graham's that bit extra.
What positions did you play?
I was a right back and right wing. Graham was a left back and centre half. Ryan was centre midfield and Nicky was a centre forward.
All right.
Yeah, it's funny. I can see that. I can see that because you sort of line up like that when you do like anything together.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Graham are the two bookends.
Yeah, seriously, that's funny the way that happens. That really is funny. So.
Yeah, it was it's good. We've got a good bunch of lads. A lot of them are West Ham fans. And they're good guys. They're it's fun to do, and obviously we've been quite successful, which is also good. It makes life a lot easier. It
does. It definitely does that.
It's always fun when you're winning.
Yeah, seriously. Now let's circle around. We usually start off by saying like, how did a person get into West Ham in the first place? So is it like family ties and everything, or was your family like Arsenal when you rebelled against them? What's your story, mate? Why West Ham and when?
Well, I was quite late getting into football. My first memory was sort of the 1990 World Cup, and I was 10, and I didn't really follow football. I supported West Ham, but I weren't really into football. And I think it was around 93, 94, I started getting really involved. And my dad wasn't a football person, but both my brothers were. And they got me into football. And then obviously, like when you start going to West Ham, things like that, you just get hooked. It's like a drug. It just draws you in. Yeah. And, and that's where it all started for me. You seeing them on the TV back then, it wasn't that regular. The first game I can actually remember, I think was the last game of the season before we got into the Premier League the first time, and we had to win to get promoted, and we won. We got promoted. I think we come up with Newcastle, and then that seeing that game and how that game ended, that then sort of hooked me in even more into football, and it just went on from there. It's, I said I was just a really late starter on it.
So did you think then that that's the way everything was going to be for West Ham, that you were going to get promoted and you were going to win matches and everything, or did your brothers like tell you no, it's not that way?
Yeah, they sort of said it's not going to be like this every week. But it was like where I started getting into football. It was my brother managed football teams since he was 21. and he's been involved in football for over 40 years. And sort of I used to go and watch him play and things like that. So that's sort of brought me into football. And then obviously seeing West Ham, you get like I said, you get hooked. You go to that one game, and no matter what the result is, it draws you in. It's just something about the club that you just can't put your finger on why. I can't put my finger. I know other people may be able to, but you can't put your finger on why you love the club as much as like you do.
Yeah,
it just it
gets under your skin, doesn't it?
It's a great buzz, man.
Yeah,
that's what I remember from going to the games as a early on as a kid, man. It's just that buzz, that energy that I used to feel walking up the stairs, and you see the pitch and it opens up, and it's like, oh, like, fucking wow. Yeah, that's what I missed.
Yeah. No, it's. I was very lucky. I had a couple of times played at Upton Park, and it is amazing.
Me too, my man. Me too.
That's it. It's an amazing feeling to walk out there, and and no matter, you walk out to an empty stadium, but you can imagine walking out to whatever 36,000 people singing Bubbles before kickoff.
Yeah, exactly. In your head, like the stadium might be empty, but in your head, that fucker is filled all the way up.
Yeah.
So how did you get to play there? What was that all about?
My mum was the mayor. My mum and dad were both the mayor of Newham. And
get out of here!
Oh, fucking East London royalty.
We got seriously. We have excuse me taking a forelock and all that, like.
Oh shit!
Yeah, they were both the mayor at separate times, and obviously because my brother had a football club that he was running, and obviously I was running one of the sides and also playing at the time. We came up with a charity cup, and through the contacts that the council had with West Ham, they gave us the opportunity to play there, and it was really good. It was a good charity event. We had 4 teams at one point playing on the same night, so it was really, really good. Really
now,
good.
did you get to play on it when it was really muddy and like crap?
No. It was like a carpet.
Really?
It was like a carpet. Yeah.
See,
and it was right.
Back in my days, it's like I'm 55 years of age. Back in my days, I remember looking at that pitch and going, "Cool, blimey, I'd hate to play on that."
Yeah. It was literally, and it was at the end of the season, so they've had a whole season on the pitch. And that playing on the pitch, and honestly, it was like a carpet. It was fantastic. You sit there and think, how can you misplace a pass? Because the ball just runs so true.
It's funny. I'm looking in the chat room right now, and Charlie Walsh is in the chat room right now. He's just gone and said, "Bloody hell! Never knew Scott was bloody royalty." It
was a big thing for my mum and dad. They were into that and sort of thing. So it was good. It's changed a lot now. It's more where they were the mayor. It's now an elected thing, a bit like the mayor of London's elected. They spend 4 years, and then they change it. So you've got an elected mayor and a civic ambassador who does all this like civic events, things like that. So they've took the shine off of it a bit.
Yeah, it's a shame the way some of the old traditions have changed over the years. I mean, I guess it's progress and all that, but yeah, that's the way life happens. So who was your hero from West Ham? Like, going to those first matches, who was your hero growing up from the team?
I'll see you soon, right?
Probably when I first got into football, it was Tony Cottee. He was the name I always remembered. He was a great player. When I started going over with a season ticket, it's a bit weird. One of my favourite players is actually Slaven Bilic. When he was playing with us for under Redknapp, because I just, as a defender, I just loved the way he played as a defender. Yeah, the way he led, and that was like the season I think Rio started breaking through and things like that. So I just admired him. But Cottee was my first hero.
Now it's a question.
Yeah. First love.
First love, man.
How did you feel when Slav decided to leave us and go up to Everton?
Disappointed. He stayed and helped us, that season, and then moved on, which was good of him. And but I was disappointed because I just thought we had, with Rio coming through as well, I just thought we would have had a very good back line then.
Yeah,
I think we had Mark Reaper played alongside him. They were 2 decent centre halves, and just Rio coming through, and it was again typical West Ham. We could have built something, but decided to as per usual sell.
Yeah. Do you think we've moved on from those days now? I mean, the way that we're building now under Pellegrini, do you think we've said goodbye to that type of days?
I do. I think the keeping Diop and Rice is a big statement for us now.
That's massive.
Yeah, you know, if getting offered what was it for Diop, 50 odd million?
Yeah,
and Phil Jones.
I thought it was like 60 million plus Phil Jones. I mean, Phil Jones is laughable.
Yeah,
to be honest.
But £60 million, and we had the balls to turn that down.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Go back 5-6 years ago, we would have bitten their hand off for that. For a player of his age, one season in the Premier League, you know, we would have bitten their hands off. But I think that is the biggest statement. I said Rice signing his new deal was a massive statement as well, and we're attracting players of that higher caliber now. You know, with even Yarmolenko, I know he's getting towards the end of his career, but you can see he's a great player. Jack Wilshere wanting to play.
Yarmolenko's still got a bit about him, doesn't he?
Yeah. You know, it's just so unfortunate he got the injury that he did at the time he got it, because he was just sort of flourishing and settling into the side. And you just thought, wow, you know, we could have something here this season. And then in typical West Ham fashion, we get injury upon injury.
Or we play Carlos Sanchez.
Yeah. Which I don't understand that one. No. I don't understand that one.
Well, you know, I don't understand that one either. But, you know, from what I saw yesterday, and I saw very little, of course, he didn't look like he had a bad match yesterday. From what I saw of it.
He's lacking a lot of game time, isn't he? He got that injury. We've not seen anything really of him, so it's going to be hard to judge him. But the performances we did see before he got injured it didn't look very promising.
Nah, I mean, I think you could have stuck a sack of spuds out there the other matches. Probably got out. You really could have done. Really could.
That's it. But he pulls on the shirt. We've got to support him. But I just think he's not the level we're looking to get to now, I think.
100% agree. So, Scott, real quick, I have a question for you from the chat from Justin Wasick. Sorry if I've butchered your name, mate. But it says, what is Scott's favourite part of being a part of West Ham Fan TV?
Post-match pint.
Is it because you're drinking or?
No. I love the concept of post-match pint. When Nicky pitched it to me, you know, I know when he's been on before, he said about when we sat in the cafe and things like that. But when Nicky said to me about doing it, I just thought, it's a great idea, and I've missed doing them. Yeah, I've missed doing them. When we had our clubhouse and we went back there after the game, you know, it just become part of the ritual of the day, and I really enjoy doing it. You know, it is just you're with your mates, you're chatting about football. What more can you ask for? You know, and that's what I love the most.
Yeah, I've got to tell you, I mean, being an Englishman that you know immigrated to the United States, and you know, for me, it was the biggest part of my day after a football match was sitting down and watching you lads doing that, because I actually felt like I was a friend sitting down with you. Yeah, I mean, and I'd sit there with my beer in front of me computer, drinking it, and it gave me goosebumps. The first time I saw it, I was like, "Oh, this is bloody marvelous! I actually feel like I'm back home."
Yeah. Steve, when we first did it, we thought, no one's going to watch. You know, we'll have 10 people watching, and one of them would be like your mum and your dad and things like that. But
you get all your mates in there.
Yeah, that's it. It just took off, and as I said, it was part and part. When we were at the bowling, we'd finished the game. We were 5 minutes away. We walked down. It was all set up before the game. We start filming. Obviously, we're trying to upload fan cams at the same time and things like that. And I just love that part of it. You know, and it's really killed me that we haven't been able to put it out there, because a lot of people will say to us, it brings, especially like people who are abroad, it brings them back to West Ham sort of thing.
Gives you that little piece of home.
Yeah.
And
you know, it's something we never expected that would happen.
One thing that I feel like the thing that hooked people in the most is when Nicky smashes his hand on the table. That's my favourite. That's my favourite bit.
The problem is he does that a lot of time, and it's an uneven table and beers go flying.
Yeah.
Well, that's what makes it so real. It is what makes it real.
Yeah,
that's it. So how did you guys? I mean, obviously we've heard the story of how the group came together. How did you personally get pulled into West Ham Fan TV?
It was literally when Nicky had the idea. He just rang me up. He said, "I want to do this." He was saying, "Oh, it's a bit like Arsenal fan TV, but I want to sit in a pub and have a chat about the game after the game, because obviously we're all season ticket holders." And he said, "You know, this is what I want to do. Do you want to do it with me?" And I was like, "Yeah." I said, "I'll support you on it. I'll come and do it. You know, I don't mind." And as I said, it just took off from there. I love doing it. I love doing it. Some of the fan cam bits and all that's a bit long. You know, it's standing there, especially when it's raining. It does you in a little. But the post-match part, I said, I absolutely love. And it was just Nicky's idea. He's got a lot of good ideas, and this was one of them that just seemed to just hit the ground running and take off.
Is there any time where you're sitting and going, "Oh bloody hell, I can't do this anymore"?
No, I've always enjoyed doing it. I get called Mr. Negative a lot of the time because I'm always the one that tries to be a bit, don't overplay things, try and talk it in a football term. And I've got criticised a lot for being a bit negative, but you can't be positive all the time, and I'm quite a positive person. So
I think it's more just being realistic than negative, to be honest. Like as much as I want to be optimistic about where we could potentially finish, what we're going to do in certain games and stuff, you also have to be realistic. Like, for example, Manchester City, the first home game of the season, as much as I would love to beat them and get off to a winning start, I personally can't see it, because Man City, they're an incredible football team. Like, what are your thoughts on our opening game?
I'm exactly with you. You know, any point in that game is a good point.
Anything under 4 goals, I'll accept.
That's it. And it's sad to say, even with the signings that we've made, the progression we've made, Man City, they're just at different level.
They're unbelievable.
Yeah. And you saw that in the pre-season friendly. I know Wolves gave them a game in the final, but even though we played all right, we weren't brilliant, but we played okay. They just, even when they're playing bad, they can just go to their bench and pull on 4 or 5 world-class players. You just can't cope.
Class players as well.
Yeah. And you can't compete. Their level is much. For me, they're the best footballing side about at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. Do you think
Go on.
Sorry. Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, do you think there's a realistic possibility that we could ever get to that level? Maybe not under the current ownership. Maybe with some investment elsewhere.
The thing that worries me is I think we're moving forward at a good rate. Mm-hmm. We're not going to be competing with them sort of sides under Gold and Sullivan. But even if I think we've got a very big benefactor come in and take over the club, I just think by that time we'll be too far behind. They're City, Liverpool, Man United, they're on a different level at the moment. We're trying to catch up with the likes of Spurs and Arsenal. And I think by the time we catch up to Spurs and Arsenal, City and Liverpool and United will be that much further in front.
They'll be in their own division again.
Yeah. And that's and also as well, we've got competition from the likes of Everton and Leicester, who are building and getting good squads and getting financial backing coming in. So I think if we had owned the stadium from the outset, like the original deal we were meant to get, and we got a decent owners in, I think then we would be competing a lot more and a lot stronger. But I just think by the time it comes around for us to do that, I just think them clubs will then step it up a bit more.
Yeah.
Do you think it would have made a difference if they'd have let Tony Fernandes in and taken a part of the team?
No, I don't think so. He was another one that seemed a bit like the Icelandics. He just chucked money, at players who was coming towards the end of their career on big wages. They weren't players who wanted to play for the club. It was just a case of, here's a big money contract, come and play. We signed Kieran Dyer, who spent more time on the treatment table than Andy Carroll has. And
Lundberg as well.
Yeah. And with Lundberg, I think that was all down to our medical team, because he went over to the States and they found out he had a cracked hip that he'd been playing with, and that's why he kept getting injured. So it shows how bad our medical team were to miss that. But I just think Fernandes, you saw what he done at QPR when he took over there.
Yeah.
He just threw big money at players, and they weren't interested. They weren't interested in playing for QPR. They just wanted to earn their money. And I think Fernandes would have done exactly the same if he had took over instead of Gold and Sullivan.
Yeah.
As much as I criticise Gold and Sullivan for what they do, they're very good businessmen. And that's the only positive you can say. We're not going to go under or not going to go down under them now. We'll just sit on this level, and that's where we'll stay until it's right for them to spend, right for them to sell the club.
Do you see him selling it though? Because I mean, there's talk about the fact that that Sullivan wants to pass it on to his family or whatever. And quite frankly, my opinion is that I don't see them selling it. I think they see it as a cash cow. And just the same as I don't see them investing in getting the stadium any better, because why would they do that when they're already making the money off of it that they're making off of it?
I said a long time ago when the move was going on, I thought the whole idea of the move was the right thing. It get into a bigger stadium, the more revenue coming in. If we had owned the stadium, we would have had the naming rights, we would have had decisions on how the stadium looked, things like that. That was the right move for us.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, as we know, the move didn't pan out the way we wanted. Things are not the way we was expecting. The money's not coming in as we thought. And I think that's the problem is that's gone against them, sort of thing. But I'm one of these that believes that they're holding on to the club for as long as possible, so that the club, the ground, gets given to them at a cheaper rate. So, because obviously, with the LDDC, they're struggling to finance it. Changing it into an athletic stadium costs them £8 million a season to do, and they're losing money hand over fist. And I'm just thinking there will come a time when the government will go, well, we're losing too much money on this. Let's sell it to West Ham for 50 million quid. That type of thing. They take a loss on it, but then it's not a loss to the taxpayer. And then Gold and Sullivan get this 66,000 seat stadium, £50 million, give it a year or two, put the club up for sale. They're going to be laughing. And that's it. It is one big, massive cat. As much as Gold's a West Ham fan, when I've seen him at Q&A, things like that, he's a true West Ham fan.
Yeah, I believe it.
Sullivan, I'm not too sure about, but he says all the things that he is, but I'm 50-50 on that one. But as I said, I just think it is a cash cow. Gold's getting that much older. His daughter doesn't want nothing to do with West Ham. So I think he will sell first, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is, with Boris as the new PM, I mean, he did us a favour in getting us in there in the first place, so to speak. I mean, do you see that as being a good little bit of work for West Ham now that he's the PM, that he might orchestrate something in our favour now that he's got that power? Or do you think I'm just like pie in the sky stuff?
Not with Khan as the London mayor.
Nah.
I think if you were to get a Conservative mayor come in, then things may change. The deal for the stadium we got. Everyone says, "Oh, you don't pay for your, taxpayers paid for your stadium," things like that. What football club would not have taken that deal?
Oh, of course.
There isn't one single club in the world that wouldn't have taken it.
Leighton Orient bloody wanted it.
Yeah. Leighton Orient would have been playing in front of 2,000-3,000 people in a 60,000 seat stadium.
Yeah.
That was never going to happen. And the deal we got is brilliant for the club, terrible for the taxpayer. But that's not our fault. It's any other team would have moved in there for the same price, for the same deal, and they wouldn't have complained. It's just because it's us. It seems to be everyone hates us because we've got that stadium for that amount of money.
Well, I'd rather them hate us for the stadium than hate us for Tottenham. That's for definite.
That is true.
Wait, I'm going to pop into the chat real quick because I've been dying to ask this question. Dan's mum, actually, Scott, she asked you, what is the... she said, let me try and find it. What is the one game that you're looking forward to most this season?
This season? That's a tough one. Do you know what? I'm not going to say Tottenham because that doesn't, they keep banging on this their cup final, things like that. To me, it's playing Manchester United because
exactly for me, mate. Exactly.
I think we've got to beat them now, and for all them years that they were on top of up the top, turning this over. Even when games that we were leading, they come back and win it, and now I think we've got the better of them, and that's one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I personally love beating Man United. They've dominated us they dominated most of football for the longest time. But ever since Ferguson left, there's no fear. I don't fear playing Man United at all. I happily play Man United every week.
I'll be honest. I only fear now playing City and Liverpool.
Yeah.
I think Spurs have got a good side. They've got a good manager, but I'm not scared of playing Tottenham. I'm not scared. Chelsea's another one. Without Hazard, you look back at the recent results we've had against Chelsea. Hazard turns up, we lose. Hazard don't turn up, we turn them over.
Seriously.
We're not that.
And they
far
don't have
behind
Hazard now, so it's like I'm not scared of them at all.
No, that's it. And that's the thing. Beating them sides, everyone says, when you beat Tottenham, it's your cup final. But when you're a supporter of a club that we haven't won nothing for over 30 years, nothing of note, and it's not a case of it's our cup final because we beat Spurs. They are our local rivals now. You can't count Millwall because they're not in the Premier League. Can't count Orient because they're nowhere near the Premier League. So it is Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea. They're our rivals. And that's why we celebrate so much when we beat them, because we're getting one over our rivals. And it always seems to ruin Spurs' chances of winning the league.
It's
actually funny how that works as well.
Yeah, see, my theory is that them saying it's our cup final, it's their cup final. Because for us, if we lose against Tottenham, it's not a big bloody deal as far as we're concerned, because we're expected to lose against Tottenham.
Yeah, that is exactly it.
They hate it. They hate it. They hate it with a passion when they lose against us, especially when it's like a couple seasons ago where they lost against us and it knocked them out of shit. That's everything, and I love that. I love the fact that they hate it.
That's it. They just don't stop going on and on and on about us. Someone sent me pictures this season of their forums, and how it was more important for them to beat us and not let us be the first team to beat them at their new stadium. Yeah. And sod's law, it was us that turns them over.
Well, sorry boys, guess what?
Seriously, I've got a great Tottenham mate back home, and all he did for all season long was going on about how bad West Ham season was. I didn't give a crap how Tottenham season was. No. I didn't give a crap. But yet after we beat them, I never heard anything out of him. Nothing.
Exactly, and that is it. All the time they give it all the time. As soon as we beat them, they all disappear on Facebook. All your Tottenham mates are posting things. They just disappear.
Yeah.
They're so easy to wind up.
One of my best mates, Anthony, is a Spurs fan, and conveniently he's always busy with wife whenever we play them. So Anthony, if you're watching, mate,
give them the
yeah. So let me just jump into the chat again real quick, and then we'll do a couple of Hammers polls or something, Wayne.
Mate, yeah.
All right. So yeah, Penny's in the chat. Ian Welford is in the chat. Selly's there. Tim from American Hammers TV is there. Gabe.
Tim doesn't trust us to do it by ourselves, does he?
Nah, I don't think
you don't trust us. I know you don't trust us, mate.
Yeah. TJ Cooney, Nicola Mayer. Nicola Mayer's one I haven't seen before, so welcome to the show. Who else have we got? I said Ian. Charlie Walsh. What's happening, Charlie?
Charlie's got no bloody life. He's on when we're on there like 4 o'clock in the morning England time.
He's literally
I think all he does is sit in front of his computer and watch TV and watch stuff on the computer.
Yeah, he's a good guy, Charlie.
He's a good lad.
So we've got also Neil from Down Under. I don't know if he ever pops into your guys' channels when you do that, but he's from Australia. He's in there all the time.
That's good.
TJ Cooney Jr.'s in. Ben Davis.
TJ Cooney's got a really interesting question. He says, so what are the most important holes to fill? We have a solid attack, hopefully. One more striker and a defensive midfielder would get us 8th and a run. Any thoughts on that, Scott?
I totally agree. We need another striker desperately before the start of the season, and another. I don't know whether a holding midfielder or a box-to-box midfielder. I still think we're lacking that. We're 1 injury or 2 injuries away from everything falling flat again, and it's looking at history. It's going to happen. You just know it's going to. Touch wood, it doesn't, but you just know we're going to get a good. I think we're going to have a good start. It will start after the Man City game, but we'll get a good start into the season, and then we're just going to get that one key injury, and it's all going to fall flat. and you just got to hope and pray it isn't one of the strikers. But going into a season with 2 strikers, and one of them strikers doesn't fit the way we play,
you're asking
it's a bit
for
worrying.
trouble. You're asking for trouble straight away.
Yeah.
So regarding injuries, I do have one question, because this is something we talk about in our Discord quite a lot, and it kind of frustrates me. I know everybody has their own opinions and stuff. What is your opinion on the position next to Rice? Because I believe we'll play a 4-2-3-1 formation. I think it picks itself. Rice is going to be one of those positions, and you've got Noble. I'm not even going to count Carlos Sanchez. You've got Noble or Jack Wilshere. If Jack Wilshere can stay fit for a whole season, does Mark Noble play?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, the thing with Noble, when we started out doing West Ham Fan TV, I wasn't a massive Noble fan.
Me neither.
And, listening to Ryan's been a big Noble fan the whole time. And then when you start to watch him play, and there's just something that he has that little bit of still in the game. He's always up for the big important games when you play the rivals, but he seems to get better as a player when better players are around him. And to not have him in the side, Jack's a superb player. The guy's world class. But to sit there and say not have Noble in there, I just can't see it. I think Noble will start the season. I really do, with Rice. It's just, I think Jack will take his time to get back in. But I just can't see us lining up without Noble at the moment. Yeah,
I agree. I feel like so for me personally, right? I love Mark Noble, but I also don't love him at the same time. I've watched games where we've been under pressure, we counter attack a team, and the ball gets played to him, and our counter attack is like dead instantly because he hasn't got the legs to either shift it to a side or play the pass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mark Noble's passion and love and importance to the club has never been in question, but his ability in most games, except for like the Spurs games or United games or the big ones, as you said, he goes missing sometimes. And I feel bad for talking crap about Mark Noble, but if you had somebody,
don't you wanker.
but if you had somebody like a box to box midfielder like N'Golo Kante, right? Let's just say Kante was playing at West Ham, right? You've got Rice and Noble, or Rice and Kante. Who are you going to play?
It's Rice and Kante.
Yeah, all day long, and it's not because of his passion; it's because of his footballing ability. I had this discussion about Carlton Cole. Everybody loves Carlton Cole, like the 24 dog or whatever. But if you had Carlton Cole up front with all of his love and his passion for the club and his effort and stuff, or Fernando Torres when he played at Liverpool, who are you going to play?
That's it. You're playing Torres.
Exactly.
As much as Noble's a West Ham boy, I said, if we do get that box-to-box midfielder, it suits the system better to have a box-to-box player. And
I hate having this discussion. I hate having this discussion. I'm ending it.
It's the thing is, it's because Rice has come in and done so well as that holding role.
Yeah.
Rice is now that first name on the team sheet. Before it was Noble, now it's Rice. And you look at the back line, Fabianski in goal, then you've got Diop and Balbuena, then Rice. It's just, the backbone of our side now is the strongest it's been for a very long time.
Yeah, 100% agree. But anyway, to praise Mark Noble though, real quick, there are certain types of games where if he's fit, you can't leave him out, like Spurs. Those types of games, man, he knows what it means to us as fans, and him being a fan himself, he has to play in those types of games.
I just hope whatever it happens, he stays as part of the team. I hope somebody's got the foresight and the common sense to realise that lad has to be part of this bloody team until the day he bloody dies.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the thing is, he's. Sorry, go on.
No, you go on.
I was just saying, I think he is a true footballer. He loves football and wants to. He wants to play. The manager puts him out there. You're going to get your win. I just hope that he is going through the process of doing his coaching badges, and they've kept a lot of brought a lot back of former pros who have retired back to do coaching. And I'm with you guys. Keep Noble there, keep him in and around the dressing room, because he is someone. He is Mr. West Ham. He knows that club in and out. Anyone coming in, the first person that should be there meeting him is Mark Noble, because it's his club. He understands us as fans. He understands what it's like to be a player. You don't see him ever in the newspapers or anything like that. He keeps himself to himself, so to speak, and
keeps his nose clean. Yeah,
he's a model football player in my mind. Yeah,
totally. Well, I think it's time for us to do a couple of Hammers polls real quick. So Hammers polls, does have hammerspolls.com, or of course at Hammers polls on Twitter. Let's start off with this first one. Let's see. On a rain-soaked Craven Cottage, the Hammers ran out 1-0 winners with a goal from Lanzini. On a brighter note, the travelling fans sang their hearts out. Apart from Bubbles, what's your favourite song? And they give us 4 choices here. Oh, Christian Daly. I love that one. Ludo from Moscow. One Man Couldn't Carry. That's my favourite. And Arthur Masaku. What's your favourite, mate?
I've got to say it's the Ludo McCloskey one. I must admit I did enjoy that one very much. How about you?
Actually, although those are good songs, none of them are my favourite.
You have to choose one of those for you, wanker. Come on. It's a poll.
Milosko then.
Okay, I'm choosing One Man Couldn't Carry, only because I hate Frank Lampard with a passion. So, but they said Ludo McCloskey. So that's what they said. So I mean that was always a fun song to do, for definite. Although I do love Oh Christian Daly. Oh Christian Daly, you are the love of my life. Maybe I love it more now because I'm bald as a fart. Probably why. So I've just got some great memories of the Christian Daly one. The Ludo McCloskey, I don't have great memories from that one. One Man Couldn't Carry, fantastic freaking memories from that song. And I just love the See You Next Tuesday in it. I really do. And that's why that was always my favourite song. Okay, let's see. 2 different formations against Fulham with all striking options used. Which option would you prefer? Aller lone striker, or Hernandez and Antonio?
It's got to be Heller lone striker. Without fail. With a Yarmolenko and Anderson either side of him.
Yeah,
that's a frightening front three.
It is, isn't it? Really is. What about you, Gaz?
Yeah.
I'd have to agree totally, to be honest. You've got the pace and the skill of Anderson coming in from the left. You've got the pace and the power and the celebrations of Antonio coming in from the right. And Hilaire, he looks good. So I think I'd have to agree with Scott there, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm 100% with that, and I think it's so much more flexible. If we get another striker in that, we can pop up there instead of Hilaire. If God forbid he does get succumb to the West Ham curse, so to speak. I think it's more flexible. And I just, even though he didn't score, I mean, I like the header and the fact that he tried to come back in with his foot. I just think he looks tasty. I think he does.
He looks quick for a big bloke. He looks very quick with his feet and stuff.
His stats were quite good last season as well. We needed someone to replace Arnie in the aspect of what Arnie creates. Not only the goals that he scored, but his movement and things like that. And Hilaire coming in seems to be that player. When you're looking at the stats from what he had last season, I don't know how many goals he got, but he also was involved in a lot of the build up to goals. And that's key for us. And that's what Arnie gave us. That's unfortunately what Hernandez doesn't give us. Hernandez, all the years we've been crying out for Hernandez type player to poach, be in the 6-yard box. And we don't play that way now.
and I could see Antonio picking up a lot of goals just because people are going to be zeroing in on LA. I really could. And Antonio's my lad. I just love that kid. I love him. He frustrates the living crap out of me, but I do love him.
The thing I like with him, he's sorted himself out. He went off the boil. His attitude looked completely wrong. But towards the back end of last season, we saw the Antonio that we started to see. Yeah. And I don't like him up front. I want him out on the wing, running at players. And when someone like Anderson's got the ball over on the left, you want him making them runs in at the back post, because in the air he can be devastating.
Yeah.
You know, he causes teams so many problems with his physical strength, and you know, his heading's a lot better than his shooting. Put it that way.
Definitely. Yeah, I say just about every episode that I've got a ball in my backyard here in Texas that I think he shot a couple of weeks ago. Definitely. Right, final one here. Let's start it with a nice controversial. Stop it with a nice controversial kit question. Home kit: white shorts or claret shorts? What a load of crap. Who cares? I like white shorts. I'm a traditionalist. I'm an old fart.
Yeah, totally agree. White shorts.
Yep.
Yeah, without fail. I'm glad I don't have to wash them, but yeah, definitely white shorts.
Yeah. I saw the was it the under 23s had white shorts from the other day with this kit, and I just thought it looked smart.
Yes, it's more West Ham colours, the white shorts. You know, it goes. All claret don't work.
I don't think it. I mean, it'll do. If it wins us an FA Cup, I'll say I love the claret kit. But no, white shorts it is. White shorts it is. That's pretty good. I think we're all on the same page with that. It's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. We're all on the same page. It really. So what do you reckon, Gaz? You reckon we'll do these 10? There are 11 questions now. The quick fire round.
Yeah, bang them out, mate.
Okay. Scott, we've got quick fire questions. Don't think too much. Put yourself in Dan's shoes. So here we go. Meat pie or apple pie?
Apple pie.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Lee, I told you. See, Englishmen will choose a bloody apple pie. Okay. Who's your favourite current West Ham player?
Current player. I don't know. You know.
Oh,
that's stumped me. Yeah. I've got to say Declan Rice.
there you go. There you go.
I've got to say Declan Rice.
Who frustrates you most in the current West Ham squad?
Antonio.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody says that.
He's my favourite and he frustrates me the most.
Yeah. It's just his shooting. You know, when you see him cut in, you just think, please don't shoot, please don't. And it flies over the line.
It's true. It's the same reason. Here you go. I'm gonna change this up a bit. FA Cup or top 4 finish?
FA Cup.
Even over a top 4 finish?
Even though it's top 4 finish, FA Cup.
Beautiful. What about West Ham do you love?
Now more than ever, it's the family feel that I get. You know, since I've been doing this West Ham Fan TV thing, I've met a lot of people I can call friends through West Ham and through the football. So it's that family feel with the club. You know, pulling together, being there, singing bowls at the start of the game. You know, that's probably my most favourite thing about going West Ham.
Yep. What about West Ham do you hate?
Our injury records.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's a great answer.
It is. What sound makes you happy?
What sound makes me happy? Football related or non-football related?
Whatever comes into your mind.
Sound makes me happy is my little boy's laughter.
There you go.
Best answer we've had.
Yeah, seriously. What's your favourite curse word?
You can say it.
The one I hate the most is the C one, and I say it quite often. My favourite one, probably wanker, because it's quite funny listening to different people the way they say it.
Okay, speaking of wankers, what team do you love to beat? I think we know this one.
There's loads. But Man United, Spurs, Chelsea. Chelsea used to be the team I hated the most. You know, growing up, I always hated Chelsea, and I used to love us beating them. But Spurs are taking over. But I said I like beating Man United now.
There you go.
Love beating them.
Okay, Name a player, past or present day, that epitomises West Ham United for you.
Billy Bonds.
Beautiful. There you go. It's a deep thought one. We'll end it on. If you could take a time machine back to experience anything to do with West Ham United, where would you go?
Probably the 1980 Cup final.
Yeah.
Being the Division Two side, beating a side like Arsenal. Probably go back and enjoy the day there, to see it, because again, not seen us in a cup final, but not seen us win anything. So
yep,
that would be it.
I was there.
That's a very good answer.
I would go back and do it. I'd actually relive afterwards.
If I were to do anything, I'd go back to the final game at Upton Park, because obviously I was here in the States for that, so I would go there, because I can imagine the atmosphere was unreal.
Tim popped in.
What's that?
Tim wants to know why we didn't mention the sponsor, drinkwaredesign.com. and say,
Fired.
Subscribe to the channel. Everybody out there, subscribe to the channel, because he wants to get to 1,000 subscriers.
What were you?
100%. You guys are doing a great job with what you're doing, and if you anyone watching this and you ain't subscribe to these guys. They are good. They're really, really good.
Well,
and
thank you, man. I really appreciate that.
It's good to see. It's good that you're bringing sort of the American fans together. Players that are missing out. I know. We get a lot of comments where we bring people together and make it feel like they're back at home. But what you guys are doing out there, I think, is really good. Really, really good.
Thank you. You guys and Hammer's Chat are the two reasons why we even started this. I mean, if it wasn't for, watching post-match pint, and watching Hammer's Chat, I mean, we wouldn't even thought of doing this. So that's the reason why we try to have each and every one of you on. We'd love to get Graham on here too sometime, obviously.
Yeah, you have to send him a carrier pigeon.
That's what we assumed. It's funny. That's what every single one of you said so far. We've had Nikki, Ryan, and Dan on. They pretty much said the same thing. Telegraph or whatnot.
If you let me know when you want him on, I'll bring him round here. And even though I don't really know what I'm doing with setting everything up, but I can help him out and get him on.
No, I'd appreciate that. I mean, because like I said, we want to showcase all of you guys to all the Americans who watch us, because we're not sure if everyone has even had the opportunity to watch the shows yet from over here. So it's all about like helping everyone's fan base really grow. So
that's it. It's the family feel. It's bringing everyone together, and getting. There's no for me, and I probably speak for all the West Ham Fan TV boys. You don't see anyone as a rival. You just like seeing different opinions on West Ham. It's everything West Ham. There's no right or wrong opinion on the club, and it's good to see different. Before I did this, I weren't really into YouTube. I didn't know Arsenal Fan TV. Didn't even know they existed. And it's widened my knowledge of football, listening to other people, listening to what they've got to say and things like that. So it's good. There's a lot of channels out there. Hammer's Chat and are probably one of the good ones, one of the better ones. What their guys do, they're really good, and they're nice fellas as well. And that's why you just keep going and growing and growing, and just keep moving forward. And it's also good for the club. It's more publicity for the club. Yeah. And I know they don't always like the things that we do, but.
We don't always like the things that they do.
Well, that's
exactly.
That's the thing. But
exactly.
The best part about it all is that we're all down to earth. It's not like watching Sky or Match of the Day. I mean, someone else we've had on mentioned that as well. That fans, supporters like to watch what we're doing, what you're doing, what Hammer's Chat's saying, and so on, because it's more realistic. It's more approachable. But no, we've had nothing but great support from you guys before this guy fell off the face of the earth. He was very helpful for us too. And it's just been nothing but great support for us. I mean, we were concerned in the beginning, Lee and I anyway, that since we're not living there, we were going to get a lot of flack, a lot of stick because we're not season ticket holders or whatnot. But at the same time, we have in America, especially, we have as much passion for the club as everyone, really.
Yeah, that's it. It doesn't matter whether there's no you can't say, because someone's a season ticket holder, they're more of a fan than someone else. You're a fan. People can't afford to go football. There was a long period of time where I had a season ticket. I gave my season ticket up to play football. And then when I stopped playing football, I couldn't afford a season ticket, and then I got back into I managed to be able to afford it and start going. And that's it. I'm not no better fan than anyone else because I'm there week in, week out. I'm Ryan and Nicky at 90% of away game. They're no better fans than anyone else because they go more away games than anyone else. We're all the same. You're a fan. You love the club. As I said before, the club grips you. Once you're hooked, that's it.
That's it.
You stick with it forever.
My wife hates it.
It don't.
All these shirts everywhere. All these shirts and also all West Ham. I get shirts for my kids and my daughter doesn't know what they are.
My wife said to me the other day, she said, "How many West Ham shirts do you need?" I said,
I hear that every day.
Let me show you this video of this guy up in Boston that's got 92 of them.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah.
My wife, I'm allowed 2 or 3 shirts. That's it. The rest have to go in the loft. She's fed up with seeing them.
Mine are all hung up on her bedroom wall for this little mini studio thing. So she has to deal with it every day. God bless her, man. Woo. Listen, Scott, I really want to appreciate you coming on. I do have quite a few things to mention. That's the reason why I popped on, because I was trying to do a little test video since Hangouts is going away. We have to switch things over, and I was trying to test some things out. I couldn't mention what I wanted to mention. So before I do that, I just really want to tell you how much I really appreciate you being on today.
Thank you for having me.
And everybody else, on the channel. I mean,
it was so much better than all of the other West Ham fans. Of course, I say that to everyone that comes on, but
All right. Again, so thank you so much. But real quick, guys, we do have a show tonight. I mean, Eastern time, 9:00. Lee and I, we usually do a show at 9:00 Eastern. We have a guy from, I believe, upstate New York on the show tonight. Well, it'll be fun. And then, coming up on Wednesday and Thursday, we have, even more American Hammers on the show. Scott Davis is definitely going to be doing another Bitch Fest this week. I don't know what the topics are. It's pretty much, a big guess, but we're trying to get content out every single day. We're getting to that point. We have a fantasy Premier League that we got going on. Check us over on Twitter. We've been promoting that like crazy. We're actually going to be doing a weekly show on Tuesday nights where the guy from Mississippi Hammers, who's helping me, run the league, I guess you'd say, not really run it, but just organize it. He's going to be hosting that show with 1 or 2 of the people from the league. So if you join our league, then you can be on the show.
I'll definitely join that one.
Please, man, that'll be awesome. Yeah, it'll be fun because randomly we'll have people from the league on the show and discuss the happenings and all that good stuff. So the guests this week, we have Zach from Maryland on Wednesday, and we have David Sperry from St. Louis Hammers on Thursday, which is going to be great. We have Stelios from Irons United on this time next week. And then I don't know what we got going on next Sunday night. I think we're going to try to get Selly, Gaz's boy. We're trying for Sunday night. Yeah. And listen, I really want you guys to take a look at the new banner that we just posted up right before this show, and give us your input, because we've been playing around with a few different things. Actually, Gaz has. So Gaz is our graphics guy. Wayne's going to be our video guy. We're going to be doing a lot more editing videos, which is awesome. Because, now the Hangouts is going away, man. I'm so upset about that, dude. I'm telling you, it was so easy. But now Wayne's got a lot more work to do. So, right, Wayne? Right, love you, Wayne.
Can't hear you. The sound's not working.
It's funny. So besides all that, I mean, we have you guys. If you watch our show, you've seen Allie on. Allie's been doing our. She's a West Ham Women's season ticket holder. She's going to be doing a lot more West Ham Women's content once the season starts. Also, there's going to be West Ham and Eggs, which Wayne will be doing for pre-match shows. Selly and Gaz will be doing post-match shows. I mean, it's getting crazy, but I just want to thank each and every one of you for subscribing. We made like one post a couple days ago, I think it was actually yesterday, about trying to get all of you to, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, to do so. We've gotten almost 100 subscribers in a day, which is crazy. We usually average about 100 a month. And we have, since the first time I checked yesterday, we had, I think, 75 subscribers in one day, which is pretty crazy. So keep on sharing our posts and liking our stuff, and I really appreciate that. I'm going to let you guys sign it off, but you know.
Oh, and I want to tell you that my wife is actually ejecting me from my office. She's asked me to delete all of the footage. Asking me to delete all of the footage. Some nameless woman has asked me to delete all of the footage, and she's ejecting me from my office.
Hold on, before you go, just look at the chat room. Somebody, I think it was the White Bazingua, whatever his name is, called you Mr. Potato Head.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Mr. Potato Head? I'm gonna kick his A double squiggle, mate. That's what I'm gonna do.
you know who I mean if I say the White Bazingua, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, anyway, listen, guys, you got anything else to say before we go?
Not really. I'm literally trying to get out of here so I can go to the pool with my kids.
Okay,
So,
all right. Sorry for taking the time. But thanks for letting me sneak in here. I know you guys think I have to have my hands and everything, but I don't. It's not I don't trust you, man. I didn't expect it. I was so hoping to have Scott on like a Monday, because that was like the day that I would do the show, but unfortunately,
we got him.
You got him. And I didn't realize I was actually going to be home during this time. So I'm like, oh shit, I could have done this the whole time.
Anyway. Oh, babe, I forgot my phone. I got to go back to the house.
All right. Listen, Scott, thanks again, man. Love what you guys are doing. Keep doing it. I really appreciate it. Everybody else, come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.